videos back, I had talked about closing credit cards. In my opinion, if I have a credit card to where I'm really not using it as much, maybe they have changed some of their terms and it's just not benefiting me anymore. I'm not going to hold on to that card, especially if it has an annual fee on there. And so right now I'm up to $787 in annual fees. And I'm like, y'all, that's a lot for me because I'm really one to want no to low annual fees. So how did I get all the way up to $787 in annual fees? Y'all, I don't even know how this happened. And so with the 14 credit cards that I have, I'm just like, I'm going to consider closing one of the credit cards. And so one of those credit cards is going to be the Chase Southwest credit card. And so y'all, all this had came down probably like a week before they had announced all this baggage change and all that kind of stuff. So I'm just like, man, if I would have knew that then, I probably would have maybe went ahead and closed the card because I'm just like, y'all, I could not believe y'all would go and do this. So I have 14 credit cards, but 6 of the 14 credit cards have annual fees. So you'll have to let me know in the comments, do you cancel cards that you're not using that don't have an annual fee on there? And so I'm not really one to close credit cards that don't have annual fee because like my American Express everyday credit card, like y'all, I don't even really use that credit card, but I don't think I'm going to close it. So with the 6 credit cards that I have, I was for sure 100% that I was going to close the Southwest credit card. And then I'm really considering closing the American Express Gold card. And I would really like to close the City Platinum, but I'm just like, since year 1, they had waived the annual fee, probably going into year 3, I will close it. And y'all, I'm going to consider closing my Chase Sapphire Preferred card as well. So before all of the news had came out in regards to Southwest now going to be charging for bags in May, I was just like, you know what? I'm going to close the card. Now, I did a poll on my community tab asking, what is your favorite airlines? And y'all, I could not believe that 67% of people said that they like Delta. I'm just like, I can't even remember. I don't even think I've ever flown a Delta flight. To be honest with you, I'm more so of Southwest. That's pretty much 90% of my travel is going to be Southwest. And only 15% of people said that, they like Southwest. And then 13% said American Airlines. And then 6% of people said Spirit. And so usually if I'm traveling internationally, I will fly American. And so, I was saying that I was going to go ahead and close the credit card. But when I had called, they were stating, one, you get the 3,000 points at your anniversary date. So that's really only equivalent to $30. So I'm just like, I don't know that that's a reason to keep the credit card. So then she was also stating that you get the 2 early check-ins. And that's really good because I don't know how I always be ending up in C. So to be able to end up in A, that's really good. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and keep it. And then the week after I did that, then they're going to go and state that they're going to be now charging for baggage. Y'all, I was like, oh my goodness, this is crazy. I'm just like, I think that that is horrible that they're doing that because I think that that is really good that they have the bag-free policy. Now, one thing that I found interesting in the article, it did state that while they haven't decided how much it's going to cost yet, even though it's starting May 28th, they said that if you are an A-list member, you will get 1 free check bag. But then also, if you are a Rapid Rewards credit card holder, you will be able to also get a free check bag. So I'm just like, okay, since they're doing that, then maybe I can see it because I really love to fly Southwest. And for the most part, I don't have any issues, so I'm just like, dang, I can't believe that they're doing this. And most of the time, I'm only going to have my carry-on or I'm going to have a carry-on and 1 bag. So I think that that's good that they're going to, have it to where if you have a credit card. So I was like, well, that might be worth it because let's say it's going to be $35. Then you're going to get the 3,000 points at your anniversary. So basically that is $65. And then you get the 2 free check-ins. That's $50. So that's pretty good. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna keep it for another year and then I'll make up my mind. But I was just like, I think they was cold-blooded by doing this, because if this has been your model all this time, why would you go and change it? Because the thing is, they already was talking about last year, they were stating that they were gonna have it to where you had to have assigned seats. And I'm just like, dang, why would they do that? But I'm like, I can work with that. But it's like, now that they're having the check bags that you gotta pay, I'm like, y'all, I'm about to start flying Spirit. And I thought it was funny that only what 6% of people said that they'll fly Spirit. But I was on Tanisha with the Fun and Budget Act, and she was just like, she flies Spirit and she don't never have no problem with it. But you'll have to let me know in the comments, do you ever have problems flying Spirit? So I'm just like, I don't know. We're gonna have to see. Because see, I really like Southwest because they really are the only ones that seem like they have nonstop flights, in my opinion. Because with American Airlines, it's like you always gotta have a connecting flight out of Charlotte. And I'm like, I don't want no connecting flight. So that's why for me, I like to fly Southwest unless I'm doing international travel. So, we'll have to see. But I want to say I was reading in an article as well, is that people were, very upset about this, and you'll have to let me know, what do you think? Here it is right here. It says Simple Flying ran a thread of readers' reactions that included comments like, no, they won't do it. And then they said, this is the biggest travesty from Southwest. I really think this is the biggest travesty as well. And they were saying that this is a big mistake. And I will switch over to United. So you'll have to let me know, how is it with United? But then also ever flown JetBlue. So you'll have to let me know what you think about them. So then I had came over to the Southwest site to see, well, what kind of, specials they might have. And I found this one to where if you spend $1,000, you can get 3,000 bonus points. And I'm just like, well, 3,000 bonus points is not, that many points, but that's better than anything. And so I'm going to go ahead and make sure I can get that spend in before the end of the month. But you'll have to let me know, what are you thinking about this? And then for 2025, are you traveling a lot? Please like, subscribe, share with a friend, and turn your notification bell on so you'll be notified when new content drops. I thank you so much for watching. Until next time, my 2025 digital budget planner, I posted it on my Etsy shop. You can go into the description and click on the link. It's not a game.